Yeah, we're doing chain rule again, but now this time we're doing chain rule and quotient rule together. I'm going to start out with this one example. So we have to do, well, like you know, I like to separate them first and then bring them back together. So I'm going to label the top rule will be the f function. Let me zoom in. And then the function in the bottom will be g. Okay, so function f of x right there is just x. So when you find the derivative of that one, you simply get 1. Now, the one in the denominator, the g of x in this case, I will do the outer function. The inner function, it is x squared plus 2. So the outer function is just simply to the third power, and then I will apply the power rule to find the derivative of the outer function. So the 3 goes on the outside, right there multiplying, and then you take away 1 from the exponent that makes it 2. So find the derivative of the inner function, again applying the power rule. So the 2 goes in the front, and then you take away 1 from the exponent right there that makes a 1. Okay, so the derivative of the function that in the denominator in this case will be 3, and then x squared plus 2 to the second power times 2x. Okay, now you multiply those. That will give you that the derivative of function g will be just 6x, and then x squared plus 2 squared. Okay, now that we have both functions f and g and then both derivatives, I'm ready to go back and finally find the derivative of function h right there. Okay, so the derivative of function h will be the g function. G is that one right there, times f prime, so f prime is just 1, minus f is just x, times the derivative of g, that whole thing right there. Everything divided by g squared. So function g is that right there. So x squared plus 2 to the third power. Now you square it right there. Okie dokie. Let's clean this up. So here there's not much we can do. Minus, let's multiply that, giving us 6x squared. Everything goes in the denominator. Here I have a power raised to another power, so you have to multiply them. Okay, so it's going to be 3 times 2. All right, now, can I factor anything there? I'll go ahead and factor x squared plus 2 squared. So I will write it over here. So factor out x squared plus 2 squared. So this guy divided by this guy, you have x squared plus 2. When you're dividing in your mind, you're subtracting the exponent. So 3 take away 2, you get 1. That's why I'm not going to put anything here because it's just 1. Minus this whole thing divided by this guy. These two will simplify down to 1, and then you have only 6x squared left over. Denominator, there's nothing I can do. Just leave that alone. Okay, now I can simplify this denominator with the numerator. When I divide, I subtract exponents. So I have 2, take away 6, that will give me negative 4. Negative 4, that will end up in the denominator. So go ahead and leave x squared plus 2 to the 4th power in the denominator. So I took care of that. Now I only have this to take care of. So x squared plus 2 minus 6x squared. Combine. So negative 5x squared plus 2. And then our cute denominator that we dealt with. There's nothing else I can do to simplify, make it pretty, and that's all there is to it. That's chain rule with quotient rule together. Now, there is an easier way depending on what the question is. I will find another one. Aha. So if you get lucky and you have just a simply x to whatever power that is, if you don't have a binomial in the denominator, you can go ahead and use just the power rule instead of the quotient rule. What does that look like for you? You can use the quotient rule, that's going to work the same way, but if you get lucky, I mean, you can get the answer quicker. Okay, so here's what we can do. We can split that fraction in 2. And then rewrite that. So x divided by x squared, you get x cubed in the denominator. So let's rewrite that as negative 3. That way you don't have a fraction to deal with. So minus 4x to negative 4 right there. Okay, now you have just simply cute little functions right there that you can just apply the power rule where the exponent goes in the front. So why not, you know? So this is my new function. So I'm finding the derivative of much simpler function. So the negative 3 goes in the front, multiplying the 3. So negative 9. Take away 1 from the exponent, that gives you negative 4. So I have negative 4 multiplies, well, this negative 4 in the exponent goes in the front, multiplying the negative 4, giving you 16. And then subtract 1 from the exponent, negative 5. And now your final step, you just rewrite this as a positive exponent. Just remember the negative exponent means reciprocal, so just the x that is raised to the negative power goes to the denominator, not the whole thing, because if it was the whole thing, you would have parentheses around that. So that's the chain rule using the power rule if you get lucky, and if you only have a monomial right there, just the x, not a binomial. If you have a binomial, there's no other way, you have to apply the quotient rule.